Hi, and welcome to this episode of Little Sprout Speech TV. Grab your pen and paper because today we are talking about how to make a really difficult task or activity simple for your child. So how do we do that? Well, I'm going to give you 3 quick tips and then I'm going to spend some time showing you exactly what I'm talking about. So tip number 1 is to put it in pictures, right? If your child has a hard time remembering how to wash their hands, let's say they forget to use soap or whatever, they forget to turn the water off when they're done, or they forget to dry their hands, they just wipe it on their clothes and it drives you crazy, whatever the case may be, put it in pictures, right? And then once it's in pictures, tip number 2 is then put it in the sequence. So you can either do this for them, or if this is a skill that they need to work on themselves to learn more independence, you can have them put it in the sequence and then do the task after they've put it in the sequence or as they go along. And then tip number 3 is to carry out that sequence, which I kind of just gave away in tip number 2. But so first you want to use pictures, second you want to put it in order, and then third you want to carry out the sequence, right? So this was actually a sequence in and of itself. Make the pictures, put them in order, carry it out, right? That was almost like giving you exactly what I'm telling you to give your child. However, I did not give you any pictures to help. So let's do that now. So one example would be something like this, right? And I use a website that I love to make these pictures, but you can use anything. You can use Google Images. You can use some people like Boardmaker. There's a system called LessonPix that I like online. It's very cheap. So what is this? This is for, let's say your kindergarten child needs to do an activity quite often in kindergarten that involves coloring something, cutting something, and then gluing it down. This is very common in kindergarten and even beyond, just depending on what the child's working on. So some children completely have meltdowns over this because 1, the language to remember what they need to do is just too much. 2, the number of steps involved is just too much. And 3, it's hard enough for them to color maybe because maybe they're receiving occupational therapy and coloring is not a strength or cutting is not a strength. So what we want to do is make it easier for them, right? So here we go. First we're going to color. And maybe when it's done, if it's on Velcro like this is, you can just take it off. Coloring's finished. What do I need to do next? Oh, now I need to cut. Oh, I cut it out. Now what do I do? What do I do? Oh, I need to glue it. Great. Here's my glue stick. And when the child's done, they can remove that as well. Or if this is a common sequence that your child needs to do all the time in school, you could put it on one strip of paper and just, tape it down to their desk. Stick it inside, whatever works. The idea is that this is meant to be something that is very flexible and something that is easy for your child to use. This could work for anything. This could work, I did another art example here, but I've done it for hand washing as well. This one could be, we need to get the supplies. Then we need to dip the paintbrush in water. Then we need to get the paint. Then we need to paint on paper. For hand washing, an example of what might work. Sorry, I'm scooting the dog out of the way over here. He's very interested in my materials and dropping on the floor. I've done this for hand washing, and with hand washing, we want to break it down sometimes into, turn on the water, get soap, pump soap, or put soap on hands, swish soap on hands, wash hands, turn off water, dry hands. And by taking a picture strip like that and laminating it and just putting it, taping it above the sink so your child sees that every time they go to wash their hands, it's something that can help them become more independent, and then they'll feel more successful. And you'll be less frustrated because you won't have to remember if they use soap or not because it's on that picture and they know how to read pictures really well. So that's another example. Another example here is a classroom schedule I made for a little guy who I was working with. And this one's pretty cool because he was only there 2 days a week. So this was Tuesday and Thursday schedule. And on Tuesdays, for example, it says first, free play, second, circle, third, snack, fourth, music, fifth, playground, 6th, goodbye circle. And so he actually, when he started to get overwhelmed, this was hanging on the wall. He knew exactly where it was. He could walk over to it and see, what am I doing now? What's coming next? And it kind of gave him this like, okay, I know what to expect. Like I can make it through, you know, this transition. And so it was something that really helped him because he had the pictures to look at. And, you know, just hearing it or just seeing the lights flicker was overwhelming for him. But coming over and taking that as a signal to come over here and see what's next was enough for him to kind of regulate himself and feel real good, you know, with what he was about to do. And then last but not least, because I don't want this to go forever, here's another way that you can even use pictures. So I do this sometimes with my really little kids to help me know what song they want to sing. So I can use it for choices. Do you want to do, you know, Old MacDonald, then Twinkle Twinkle? Or you want to do Twinkle Twinkle, then Old MacDonald? Or, you know, which one? And I'll give them 2 to choose from. Or let's say we're going to do all 4 songs on here. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they know which one's coming next. So you can use it in any way, shape, or format you want. These are just some examples that might help you. And again, you can use any pictures you want. Google Images are free. And if it's something you're just using for your child, you know, don't have to worry about the rights to those images or anything because it's not like you're selling them. So you feel free to use Google Images for free photos, and that's that. So I hope this helps you guys. The goal here is to make it easier for your little one and ultimately easier for you, because if it's easier for them, they'll be happier, and in turn you'll be happier. So let's review. The first tip was when the task is really hard for your child, break it down and first use pictures, then put it in order, and then do the task. I hope this helps. I look forward to talking to you all same time, same place next week. This is Hallie Vulcan signing off.